dive into the breath series and clean up some of the questions you guys are asking me about in our needs analysis poll about breathing. So what it seems like to me is overthinking things with the breath a little bit. So we're going to simplify, guys, make sure it makes sense. It doesn't need to be that complicated. All right, so to start out today, we're going to come into 90-90. Let's go left leg in front, right leg in back. Quickly, just notice what we'll need. I've got 2 yoga blocks, a tennis ball. I also have a pad for my forehead, something smaller. Pillow probably works fine. Okay. First thing I want to do, guys, is just work on our breathing in 90-90. And to this side, I want to just clean up 4x8 count breathing and maximal expansive breathing. So the only difference between our 4x8 diaphragmatic breathing, guys, and our maximal expansive breathing, one is big and one is soft. 4x8 count breathing we'll start with. So light on the hands. If you need help to sit up tall, post the hand up wide and go here. Either way, some tension to the hands, gentle tension through both hips, squeezing into the floor. Big soft inhale, 4-second inhale. Big soft exhale, 8-second exhale. The only thought process, guys, is you do these first 5 breaths. Inflate the rib cage. As you breathe in, I want the rib cage to expand, blowing up like a balloon into your armpits. As you breathe out, the rib cage should depress and you should feel the rib cage pull down towards your waistband, almost the core engaged. That's it. It's your only focus. 3 more, please. To clarify, guys, I prefer to breathe in through the nose and out through the mouth. I tend to cue it here with my online classes through the mouth so you can hear me. So for me, it's soft inhale through the nose, soft exhale through the mouth. Now, as we switch to our maximal expansive breathing, guys, this is now just a big breath. How much air can you inflate into the rib cage? How much air can you blow up like a balloon? And how much air can you expel out? So same focus now, but big, okay? With these, you should find naturally you start producing a little more tension. So more intention squeezing down to the hips, more focus driving to the hands. Again, I prefer into the nose, out through the mouth. Last 2. And last breath, guys. So remember, we do our breathing to own positions. As we move into our harder or higher level classes, guys, you'll notice our breath series is going to be done in more challenging positions. Okay, now that we've done some breathing, woken up the nervous system, grab your tennis ball. I actually want to do some scapula cards. And this is pretty similar to that side lying variation we've done before. Tennis ball is glued to the thigh, and we're going to work scap cards to this right shoulder. So here, guys, it's a little conceptual, but remember the ball is going to draw a circle on my thigh. We start protracting, reaching the shoulder forward. Tennis ball is straight forward slightly. Now I want you to depress the scapula, squeeze down towards your hip. Retract the scapula, and pinch back. Elevate the scapula and pull up. So it's forward, down, back, and up. Small circles if you watch the tennis ball, guys. Just give me 4 reps in each direction. Maintain good tension through your hips here. Teach yourself to disassociate the scapula gliding on that thoracic cage from any other movement. Really common is the spine wanting to change positions. So really emphasize core engagement and staying tall through your chest. We've got our 4, let's reverse. Protract, elevate, retract, and depress. Very small movement, guys. Doesn't need to be that far. But teach yourself to have control of your scapula in this position. Got 2 more reps. Gentle protract, elevate, retract, depress. Last time coming up. For me, I get a lot of lat engagement here. I find it's a nice one. So we finish through forward direction. Grab one of your yoga blocks, guys. I just want you to stiff arm it down to help yourself get up a little taller. So use that tension closer to the elbow, active with both hips squeezing in the floor. We're gonna get 3 shoulder cards. Flex the shoulder overhead, max it out, Internally rotate, turn the armpit and the tennis ball. Continue turning, guys. IR happens throughout the whole motion. Spin knuckles forward. Keep turning, keep turning, keep turning. As we finish, we're trying to turn the tennis ball out, the bicep in. Prevent that shoulder hiking forward. Keep that scap. Extend back. Tension through your hips through that hand, guys. Externally rotated reach. Squeeze up towards the ear, flipping thumb back. So I've mentioned this before, guys, but as we progress our Kinstretch practice, upper limb cars start being done in more challenging lower body-based positions, okay? Doing our upper limb warm-up here in 90-90 makes it a little bit tougher and gets our hips some time under tension such that they've already gotten some work in just from the warm-up. Finishing through 3 reps. Flex. Max it out, internally rotate. Let's freeze there, guys. Fight to get closer to the ear, then keep rotating. As we advance, start to challenge your individual weak points. For many of us, it's getting that true rotation to initiate the rest of the motion, okay? So, got our right scap, our right shoulder. Let's get a bear sit transfer to the other side. So go ahead, just flip that yoga block and ball. Weight can be on this outside hand, front knee squeeze down. Starting with the tibia, guys. I want you to extend the ankle, internally rotate the tibia by lifting your heel, unless that bothers your knee. If it does, remember dorsiflex. Front knee down, start driving the trail hip, externally rotating. Try and pivot, swooping the heel through, trying to pull the heel in front of the shin. Keep driving knee out, max out, knee on the ground. As far as you can possibly open that hip, keep pulling heel forward, guys. As the knee needs to pick up, let it. You can switch your hands, keep opening that lead knee. Now swoop this trail leg, heel outside of shin. Internally rotate the hip. Lead with the right hip. We wind up back in 90-90. We're gonna go through that same series, guys. The difference is this time, we'll do our other 2 types of breathing that we train here in Kinstretch. So we've already done our diaphragmatic and our maximal. Now we're going to do our expansive and our expulsive. Remember, these are simply half of the maximal expansive breathing. So the expansive breath, big breath in, relaxed breath out, followed by the expulsive breaths, which is a relaxed breath in, a long, hard breath out. So here, these first 5, emphasizing more air taken in, just letting the air escape 5 times. Light on the hands. If you need to post up, that's fine. So big inhale into the mouth or the nose here is fine. Really soft, almost sigh exhale. Big breath in, taking all that air. Hold it for a moment at the top. Soft exhale. One more. This time, guys, big inhale, and I want you to hold it for a 20 count. So 20 seconds here. Hold that big inhale. Teach yourself that you don't have to take that next breath. 10 more seconds, guys. Hold. You'll notice some interesting tension. 5, 4, 3, 2. Now, long, hard exhale. Expel all that air, feel the ribcage pull down, and now relaxed inhale. 2 more, guys. Last one. So with our breath, remember, we train relaxed breathing, emphasizing rib cage movement. That's our 4x8 count diaphragmatic. We train big inhales and exhales. That's our maximal expansive breathing. We train expansive breathing, big inhales, working on taking in more air. And then we can train expulsive breaths, which is blowing out more air. As we get into our last few weeks, guys, we'll start incorporating breath holds, which is end range training for the diaphragm. More to come on that. Okay, so left shoulder now, we got to get our scapular cars and our shoulder cars. Tennis balls, glutes, and thigh, just like we did before. Nice long spine. Both hips are actively squeezing down. We will protract, reaching shoulder forward, deep press, squeezing scapula to hip, retract, pinching scapula back, elevate, squeezing shoulder to ear. It's a slight motion, guys. Watch the tennis ball, protract, ball goes forward, deep press, ball squeezes down, retract, ball pulls back, elevate, squeeze up to the ear. Forward direction, smooth reps here, guys. The goal is to teach the scapula, again, to glide on the thoracic cage. Here, I like this position because I feel I can really keep my spine still. Got our fourth reverse. Protract, elevate, retract, and depress. Take your time, guys. Teach that scapula to glide. Should get a lot of lat engagement, upper back engagement. Remember, usually exhaling during the challenging part for you is helpful for most of us. That's probably going to be scapular retraction into depression. So right here, long exhale. Teach yourself to control that motion. Finishing through your fourth. Great. Grab that tennis ball, guys. Stiff arm the yoga block to get up a little more upright. Flexing shoulder overhead. Max it out, internally rotate. Make sure the armpit and bicep turn. Keep internally rotating as you reach. Tension to the hips to the yoga block, guys. Try not to cheat. Reversing it. Externally rotate, pinky down, thumb turning back. Squeeze overhead, finishing tight to the ear. 3 reps, guys. Drive those thighs into the floor. Stiff arm that yoga block. Max out IR as you reach. Keep turning that shoulder, bicep into ribs. Tennis ball turned out. Last rep here, guys. Finishing through. Good tension, freeze overhead, internally rotate. And I want you to fight, get a little closer to your ear, challenge that active adduction, staying narrow overhead. Max out internal rotation and extension, guys. Reverse, last half rep. Extend, externally rotate and scrape. Thumb turning back, pinky flipping forward. Very good. Kick that yoga block and tennis ball off to the side. One more bear sub transfer, guys, just to make sure we've done both sides. Tension to the lead leg. Plantar flex the ankle. Internally rotate the tibia. If it bugs the knee, this is fine. Okay. Keeping that lead leg down as long as you possibly can. Drive, externally rotate, squeeze that hip up. Swoop the heel, pulling heel in front of shin. Knee stays down as long as you possibly can. Keep pulling that heel in front. Open that knee as you need to let the thigh pick up. Do so. Switching hands. Reversing directions. Lead with this thigh, guys. Heel turns outside of shin. Internally rotate and pull down. Great, guys. We're going to do an iso and P to kneeling. And just for the sake of it, we'll get one on each side so we've done both. First step, guys. Lead leg, tall in the chest. We're going to adduct. So squeeze inner thigh stuff. Pick that foot up, hold. 45-degree angle, soft landing. Trail leg, get your weight over that thigh if you need to. Active abduct, lift off. Squeeze, hovering knee to knee, heel to heel. Stack, plantar flex the ankles. Use the hand, press into your kneel. Just to show you, let's get back over the opposite direction, okay? So I'm going to show you from the side. To get to the opposite side, guys, sit your hips off your heels to your right. You can do it without your hands unless you need your hands to guide the descent. Short range abduction lift off. Again, use your hand as needed here. Pull to 90. Lead leg, short range lift off, pull to 90. We end up back 90-90. Adduct, lift off, hold, 45 degrees. Trail leg, abduct. Hover knee to knee, heel to heel. Plantar flex ankles, use that hand. We wind up in kneeling, guys. Okay, so in our kneel, a little bit of love for the thoracic spine quickly. I want you to grab your yoga block, hug it today, right across the chest, and I'm going to show you facing front, guys. People are asking me a lot about T-spine cars, and I've had a few people send me some videos, and I'm reviewing some some stuff here. And what I'm seeing, guys, a lot of us are still having issues in the transition from rotation to lateral bending, which part of it could be my fault from showing you only from the side. So today, really go slow, and I want you to smooth out this transition. So watch me first here. Big breath in. Squeeze this yoga block tight. If kneeling, guys, is too much, tall kneeling, seated is fine here. But crunch forward and core engaged and round the upper back towards your thighs. Don't worry about going that far here. Stick every thoracic vertebrae out of your shirt like a dinosaur showing its spines. From there, guys, turn the yoga block. Okay, there's no dip yet. Turn the yoga block. Max out rotation. Now this should be smooth. So this is my rotation. Very slight. I dip that shoulder down, laterally bending, and then I extend to the sky. Once I get to extension, I rotate the other way. I turn, then I slightly laterally flex. I drop the shoulder, slight cut. Then I round through, crunching forward, sticking out every spine through my upper shirt. Let's try the other way. So turn right, show the yoga block, not bending yet. Turn the chest, now slightly dip the shoulder and extend. Leading with the chest, not the eyes, sternum to the ceiling. Turn away, max out rotation, then drop the shoulder. Laterally bend it round through. So let me show you that one a little bit quicker. Forward flexion of the spine, rotate, smoothly bend, and extend. It's a circle, guys. Circles are smooth. Extension into rotation, lateral bending, flexing through. Last rep, flexion, rotation, lateral flexion, try and smooth it out, trace that corner of the circle, extend, rotate away, laterally bend, and round through. So guys, T-spine cars, again, I'm seeing a lot of this. I'm seeing 1, 2, 3. It's this kind of thing. Slow it down, smooth, right? It's a circle. You got to trace it. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, but really emphasize getting into rotation and finding that bowing. You should get a nice opening angle stretch and all this stuff. For many of us, if you're here, it's getting all funky, you're going to feel closing angle restrictions. So smooth out that rotation into lateral bending. Takes motor control, takes practice, but you got to focus on it. All right. Next, guys, coming to quadruped. So from the heels, just come back forward. Let me just show you this kind of from the front first. What we're going to do, guys, are cat cows on one arm. Right. Now, the reason for this is this challenges some anti-rotation of the thoracic spine. As I start to segment now, I need to think about my stability and my balance. It's a slight progression. If your cat-cow, guys, is really limited, you're really struggling at segmentation still, maybe just get normal cat-cows today. You want to progress, but it's going to lift one hand. Okay, I like to strap one to my bicep with the opposite hand. I just find it helps for the sake of tension. Nice long spine. Realize here, very small motion, starting at the pelvic and to your pelvic tilt. Extend that lumbar. Peeling the belly, lifting the sternum, driving the chest sky. I find very limited in extension here. Flexion, let's go neck first, chin to chest. Rounding the upper back, the mid back, the lower back, flexing the lumbar spine, tucking the pelvis. Reverse it, just 2 reps each hand. Anterior pelvic tilt, lumbar extension. Peeling the sternum, lifting the eyes to finish. And reverse it, flexing the neck, concave in the chest, mid back, lumbar, pelvis tucks under. Showing you from the other side, guys, same deal. 4 total reps if we're going 2 arms, 2 each arm if we're going unilateral. Weights over the hand, tension, anterior pelvic tilt. Extend that lumbar spine, lift from the belly, the chest, the sternum, collarbone, spine over the eyes. Opposite direction, chin going to chest, concave in the upper back, mid back, lower back, tucking through. Last rep, guys. Control. Slow reps here should be hard. Less range than you think. Try and smooth out the motion. T-spine concave, mid-back, low back, pelvis tucks through. Okay, guys. Next drill for the shoulders. We're in quadruped, and we're going to do these with two different hand positions, guys. But this is a closed chain shoulder axial rotation, meaning we're working on rotating the humerus in the shoulder socket. So what I want, turn your fingertips out slightly externally rotate. It's going to make it a bit easier. Glue all 10 fingers to the floor and radiate tension. Core and glutes engaged, maybe some slight scapular retraction, good neck posture. 4 reps, guys. I want to see you spin your elbow pits as far out as you can, trying to turn elbow pits to pinkies without moving your hands. Now internally rotate and turn your elbow pits back. Try not to let the shoulders hike around. 4 times. Good tension, spin those elbow pits out. This is external rotation of the shoulders. Internally rotate, spin elbow pits back. Disassociating wrists and scaps, guys. Scapula stay retracted. Wrists are still. Fingers are glued to the floor. Externally rotate and internally rotate. Guys, one of my favorite warm-ups before I do any pressing, handstands, bench press, doesn't matter. 4th rep. And now flip your hands, guys. Supinate your elbows, spinning fingertips back. Same drill. You can maybe turn the fingertips out slightly. That's going to buy us more IR. So glue the hands, retract the scaps, externally rotate, and internally rotate. For me, way more limited in that wrist position. That's okay. Just notice the difference. 4 little reps. If this is too much on anyone's wrists, you can feel free to go knuckles here. Just make sure the knuckles stay still on the floor. Okay, great warm up to the shoulders, one of my favorites. Last drill in quadruped before we move on. Grab your yoga block, put it right next to your hip. We're gonna glue our hip to the wall. Opposite hand's gonna be glued to the wall. And we're gonna do hip cars of this side, guys. This is gonna help us disassociate spine. Big thing, guys, don't let your elbows bend. It's really common. Drive through your opposite hand, pull through the near hand. Good tension through the legs. Heel to butt, let's plantar flex for these. 3 good reps. Heel to the sky. Grab the knee out. Fight for the elbow. Pull through. Go in reverse, and then we'll go forward. Slow and smooth reps. Extend. Externally rotate. Abduct. Flex. Got our 3rd reverse. Flex. Abduct. Internally rotating and extend. Use the breathing, guys. Control the rep. Flex, abduct, internally rotate, and extend. Whew. Guys, if you've never tried these wall block tip cars, one of my absolute favorites. Find it's a really good way to increase tension without having to add external load. So it's a nice way to make your hip cars more honest and more intense without having to make them too hard, without having to add weight, okay? Feel free to add the tennis ball if you find it easy. I don't think you need it though. Right hand glued to the wall, tension from the hands to the glutes, plantar flex the ankle, squeeze heel to butt. Let's go opposite direction on these. Forward, out, heel up, extend through. Try and smooth them out. Opposite direction, extend, externally rotate, abduct, and flex. Okay, guys, so done with quadruped and kneeling. Next, we're going to come into bear sit. So in bear sit, guys, nice and tall in the spine. Use those elbows, press out in the knees. Let's just start with 2 4x8 count breaths. So soft breath in, soft breath out. Expansion on the inhale, depression on the exhale. 2 maximal expansive breaths, same thing, just big breath in, big breath out. Before we do some hip IR, pails and rails, and some hip IR work, little warm up for our tibias. Turn your hands towards one leg. If you need to, you can go behind you. I want you to internally rotate your tibia without losing hip position. So lift your foot off the ground, turn your big toe inside your shin. Don't let your hip hinge. So internally rotate the tibia. Reach the foot to the floor. If you can, try and lift the heel off the ground. That's external rotation of the tibia. Repeat. 3 reps. Look at my shin, guys. You'll see my shin turn out. Max it out. Try and lift that heel a centimeter. Internally rotate as far as you can before the hip helps. Last rep, guys. Great. So we got 3 tibia rotations. Post the hands behind you. Lift the chest. To make it harder, guys, you can go hands off the ground if you'd like here. I'll show you 2 with the hands, 1 without. Open that opposite hip, driving left thigh away. Guys, your shin leads the way here. So your heel scrapes the floor, trying to swoop heel behind shin. Now internally rotate. Pull the inner thigh down. Let the pinky toe lift. Max out hip IR as far as I can before my glute lifts or my spine compensates. If you get a pinch in front, guys, sit up on a pad. Externally rotate the hip. Lead with the heel swooping inside shin. And externally rotate hip. Guys, here teaching knees and hips to play together. Lead with the heel swoop outside of the shin. Squeeze inner thigh stuff pulling down. Let the pinky toe pick up. Lead with the heel swooping inside of the shin. Drive your knee out. Last one, guys, then we're going to stay there. Heel scrapes out. Inner thigh squeezing down. Hip IR. Now we're going to stay here, guys. Take a second. I want you to take your same hand, walk behind you. Your opposite hand is going to grab onto your outer hip. We're going to do hip IR, pails and rails in this position, the bear sit hip sleeper. My favorite positions to work on hip IR. If you have a pinch, guys, in your knee, full around with foot position. Okay. If you have any pinch in the front of your hip, prop your butt up and sit on something here. Okay. Big breath in and out. Our pails effort is trying to externally rotate and push our hand away. So squeeze your glute. Start trying to press your hand away from you. Driving thigh out. Ramping intensity from 20 to 30%. 40 to 50. To 60 and hold there. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Squeeze the inner thigh away from the hand. Try and lift away if you can. Hold. Make sure the glute didn't pick up. Notice spine is turned back towards the hip. Second round, grab one, big breath. Externally rotate, drive up. 10 seconds, 20% finds 30, finds 40, finds 50, 60, 3, 2, 1. Squeeze that inner thigh, try and pull away and hold. Actively externally rotate and open back to our starting position. So guys, as we progress, hip IR gets more challenging. We're working in harder positions. To me, bear sit hip sleeper is the logical progression from that 90-90 hip sleeper we've been working, okay? Propping up the hips is always a good regression to make it be less hip flexion. That'll help limit pinching in the front of the hip, okay? Tibia rotations on the opposite side. Squeeze the ankle. Internally rotate tib. Externally rotate tib. Okay, slow and controlled. What I notice immediately, more range in this knee, but I have a harder time disassociating it from my hip. I feel like my thigh really wants to help here. So go slow. If, guys, you feel like you're not getting good knee motion, a good trick, try and use your hamstring. So squeeze your heel, almost scraping on the floor towards you, and use that almost rails effort to get your low hamstring involved. So as I turn my tibia, I'm trying to pull my heel back towards my butt. And that's going to help me feel my posterior knee and control this motion, okay? So warmed up our tibias right into our hip by our hinges. Here, guys, if you think it makes it a bit simpler, you can lift the heel a centimeter first, lift the heel, now swoop heel outside of shin, and internally rotate down. Getting 3 reps, guys, and we stay there. Rep goes as far as it can, then the heel stays on the floor. Lift the heel off, swoop the heel through, and open the hip. So again, I know it's conceptual with this heel swivel, but lead with your heel such that the knee and hip are rotating together. Again, a lot of people are asking about disassociating knee and hip. Work on your tibia control, but then you need to train them to work together. Love these drills for that. The bear sit hip hinge. So ankles plantar flex, heels lifted. Internally rotate. Tibia means heel pulling outside of shin. Now squeeze inner thigh stuff. Pull yourself into hip by R. Find your end range. Again, if you need to prop your butt up, you can. Grab with that opposite hand. Notice spine is turned back and glutes on the floor. Big breath in and out. Pales effort, start externally rotating, driving up into the thigh. Fighting out into the hand, ramping intensity up to 20 and 30%, 40 and 50 to 60. Stay there. 5, 4, 3, 2. Rails effort. Try and squeeze inner thigh stuff, pulling away from hand. Hold for a moment. Strap back on. See if you can get your sternum over your hip a little bit more. Full around with foot position if it's bugging your knee. Second round, externally rotating out into your hand. Ramping to 30%, 40, 50, 60, hold. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Actively internally rotate. Try and pull down. 3, 2, 1. Externally rotate back out. Pull that heel through. Drive the knee wide. Guys, let's strap back on. Use those knees, press out. Lift that belly, get tall. Should find hopefully a much nicer opening angle stretch in those adductors. I find as my hip sleeper improves out of bear sit, a lot more opening stretch and a lot less crunchy, pinchy in the top. Okay, so let's get just 2 expansive breaths and expulsive breaths. As I said, I want to really get reps of our breathing today, making sure it makes sense. So big inhale, soft exhale times 2. Big exhale, soft inhale times 2. Simple, guys. Okay, just got to practice different types of breathing and let the nervous system learn. Okay, we don't have to think about it too much. Just breathe. The brain will start to figure it out. Okay, big inhale, soft exhale. You may find as you breathe in, you'll get taller. Good. Now switching, expulsive breath. Big exhale, soft inhale. Okay, guys, so did our bear sit work? Last 2 challenges here specifically for hips and shoulders before we do some more fun kind of flow-based stuff to finish. So gonna need both yoga blocks. This is that pad I told you about in the beginning. I'm gonna use it for my forehead. We're gonna be prone, guys. We're gonna do some hip cars on one side. Then we'll do some swimmer hovers over these yoga blocks. Then we'll flip around. We'll do hip cars on the other side, and we'll do infinity hovers, okay? Prone, guys, shoulder swimmer hovers and shoulder infinity hovers are very hard. The regression here, if you're not sure, I would just go single arm. If you're doing single arm, it's just a swimmer hover, okay? So you can do just one arm, one hip, and then you switch sides, just one arm, one hip. The yoga blocks, guys, are gonna go about at armpit height. And I would suggest probably here, if you're not sure and wanna go for it, sure. This is probably too low to really make much of a difference, okay? So come on down. Armpit height, need that in a moment. Block for the forehead. For our hip cars, guys, I like to go goalpost hands. Glue the hands, glue the elbows. Bend that near side leg up. Plantar flex the ankle, lock that straight leg. Extend the hip, lift up. Remember, small reps. Externally rotate. And then abduct, hover the floor, use your opposite hand to help, pressing through your opposite elbow, As you start to lose spine position, set down. Lead with internal rotation. Lift off. Scrape the floor and hover through. Guys, remember prone hip cars are small reps, okay? Just 3. Extend, externally rotate, abduct and hover. Control your landing. Lead with internal rotation. Last rep, guys. Okay, one side hip cars are done. Swimmer hovers coming next, guys. Let's start in the back of the head. So a little bit lower. So nice and slow here, just getting 3 good reps. Retract the scapula, pull the elbows up high. Lift the hands free and hold. Extend elbows straight overhead. Internally rotate and reach, hovering high. Squeezing knuckles to the sky. Fingertips to the sky, knuckles to the floor. Internally rotate and sit down. Internally rotated, retract. Elbows back. Hands lift. Elbows extend. Externally rotate and hover high. Squeezing up towards the sky, flipping those thumbs to the ceiling into a letter Y. Into the elbows. Sit down. Doing 3, guys. Retract, elbows up. Hands lift away. Elbows extend. Internally rotate and reach. Keep internally rotating, guys. Palms to the sky, knuckles turning in, maxing out extension. Then the elbows and sit down. Shoulder blades, elbows, lift off, extend, externally rotate, and hover. Tension throughout the legs, guys. Max out that letter Y. Hinge and sit down. Last rep here. Retract, elbows, hands, extend, internally rotate and hover. Max it out, guys. And sit down soft. Coming back, retract, elbows, lift off, hinge, rotate and reach. Letter Y. Whew. So guys, if you've never done prone swimmers, they are hard, okay? One of my favorite exercises to program in on a strength day, so if I'm doing maybe deadlifts or squats, love to hit prone swimmer hovers in between lower body lifts. Find it's a great way to keep my heart rate elevated while getting in some mobility work in between the strength. So hip curls first, guys. 3 reps. Good tension. Lift off. Externally rotate. And hover. Scrape, scrape, scrape. As it becomes a spine drill, set down. Lead with IR. Big exhale there to help. Really think opposite elbow, guys. Use that opposite arm. Lift off. Externally rotate and hover. Land is necessary. IR. Abduct and scrape. Last one here. Okay, guys. Infinity hovers, and we are done prone. One hand low, one hand high. It's just a swimmer hover with opposite hand placements. Remember, regression, guys, you're just going one arm at a time. Shoulder blades,
elbows, lift off, hinge, top arm internally rotate, bottom arm externally rotate, hover and switch. Top arm thumb to the sky, bottom arm knuckles turned in, bend the elbows, sit down. Retract, elbows, lift off, hinge, top arm IR, bottom arm ER, hover and switch. Top arm thumb to the ceiling, bottom arm knuckles into the hip, bend the elbows and sit down. Retract, elbows peel back, hands lift away, hinge. See if you can rotate together, top arm IR, bottom arm ER, hover and switch. Max out rotation, bottom arm internally rotated, left arm externally rotated. Retract, elbows, lift off, hinge, rotate together and hover. Finishing our last rep here, guys. Max out the position, hinged. Sit down soft. Okay, guys, done prone. Quick tangent. Prone hip cars and prone swimmers, guys, are not like an easy drill. Those are not warm-ups. Those are not before you work out. Those are training drills, okay? I find that prone hip cars and prone swimmers and infinity hovers are about as high tension as we'll get without adding external load. Notice where we did those. Warmed up. We did pails and rails, then we did hard challenges. That's not the first thing you should do in your own. Cool? So, as promised, some more fun flow-based stuff here to finish. So with that, we're starting with one less fun thing. I'm gonna use for this, guys, the same pillow I just used for my forehead to bias tibia motion. So I know it's hard to see, it's black. A yoga block's probably too high for this. So what I've done is taken this guy, propped up my heel, and that's gonna bias tibia internal rotation. So talked about this, I think, in the homework series this week, but I like to do tibia IR pails and rails in 90-90. I find it really helpful. So right here, guys, we wanna make sure we have that tibia IR bias. The pails effort here is actually trying to crush the heel down. So it's not from the hip, but you're trying to basically turn the foot. So I'm turning the foot and squeezing the heel down, and that's my pails effort, okay? What that is, guys, is you trying to externally rotate out of the position. Okay, so it's a bit conceptual. Start driving that heel down, trying to turn into external rotation. For me, I get good engagement through the high calf. So squeeze that tension. Just give me 10 seconds and teach yourself you can own this knee position. 5, 4, 3, 2. The rails effort, trying to internally rotate the tibia, press the big toe down into the floor, and lift your heel up. 3, 2, 1, and relax. If that's very easy for you with whatever pad you're using, again, as I said, you could progress here with a yoga block. It's just gonna add a lot more range. So really bias that tibia motion, my pails effort, trying to externally rotate the tibia. I'm driving heel stuff down, trying to turn my shin. I feel that high calf working. Rails effort, trying to turn in, big toe for the ground, trying to pull heel up. And relax. One nice breath there, guys. So as I mentioned, I think in our week 3 homework, that drill, if you're getting knee pain, guys, in 90-90, you're doing bear sit, your medial knee starts bugging, address tibia IR and ER in this position. Those are my favorite setups there. Now, challenge for the lead hip. Grab the pillow or whatever you've been using, throw it under your inner thigh. And this one to give you something to maintain active adduction. So squeeze that trail hip, teach it to be involved. One hand posted up on the yoga block, guys. To regress, just slide it as wide as necessary. If you can't clear the yoga block, just get rid of it. Half 90 hovers, guys. One of my favorites, they are hard. Squeeze that back thigh. We're gonna adduct and lift off. Hinge the knee and hover the target, staying tall. We'll flip the big toe and internally rotate the hip to set down, okay? tough. If you need to go down to your elbow, that's fine. You can also regress by sliding this thigh forward a little bit. 3 reps, it's easy, go for it. Lift off, externally rotate, hinge, and soft. Okay? Use big soft exhales here, control the motion. If you've got it, you can go for it, guys. So tension, both hands pressing down, back hip squeezing down, adduct, hinge, flip that big toe. Guys, let's stay in half 90. You can move that block. Hands can be down just like this, or hands can come up, depending on how it feels to be here. Just 3 maximal expansive breaths. Big breath in, big breath out. Active hips, squeezing lead leg down, squeezing trail thigh down. Teach yourself to own this position. Very nice. Get rid of this guy. Challenge for the trail leg. Hands can post up as needed. What we're gonna do, guys, is try and get this leg into a figure 4, minimizing time the heels on the ground. So as much weight back on your hands as needed, soft elbows as needed. Squeeze your glute. You're gonna try and abduct and lift off. Scrape your heel under your knee and pull it into figure 4. Okay, giving back is harder. Hands come back, short range adduction. Keep the heel close to the butt. Internally rotate and reach back. Heel will set down as necessary. Tougher than they look, huh? 2 more. You can also, guys, post your weight out and over and go from there. It'll be a little bit easier. Try not to swing it. Make this slow. So again, too hard, go away. You can scrape under and go there. But just to show you one from the front, if I'm trying to limit compensation here, I'm here. I'm trying my best to abduct. Scraping under, pulling through, and then getting back. Lifting off, pulling under, trying to hover the floor. Okay, guys. Let's get back into 90-90. One last bear sit transfer. Open the hip, lead leg down, lead with that hip. Opposite direction. Same challenges. So as I said, one last kind of weak point focus here for the tibia. Biasing internal rotation. Again, big toes on the ground. Heel itself is propped up. That turns the tibia in. Tails effort is you trying to do this. You're trying to externally rotate the tibia. Using that motion, you're squeezing your heel down into whatever you're elevated with to get that high calf pull engagement, maybe short range hamstring. But squeeze that tension, guys, 10 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2. Rails effort, try and internally rotate. Big toe to the floor, try and pull your heel up. Try and squeeze more motion from that tib. Relax. If it's too easy, go ahead and progress. This one, guys, can be a little intense on the knee. So if there's any pain here, don't push it. Gentle reps. Big toes down on the floor. If your toe can't get on the floor, guys, the object's too hot. So notice how much more tibia IR this puts me in. Big breath in. 10-second pails. I'm trying to externally rotate, but I'm trying to push my heel down as if I was going to lift the big toe. Okay, it's a pails effort, so try not to actually move, but just control that tension. 5, 4, 3, 2. Rails effort, pressing down into the big toe. Try and pull the heel up. 3, 2, 1, and relax. Object in front. Use the pad for tactile feedback. One of my favorite tricks, guys, right there. Pillow underneath the back hip of 90-90. It's a great way to teach this hip to stay engaged and not to cheat with that hip abduction, which is so common. A lot of times I start seeing this. That's your spine helping. Teach your hip to do the work by squeezing. As much weight posted as necessary, guys. Half 90 hovers. Lift off. Hinge the knee. Internally rotate. And soft.
If you need to regress, slide this this back leg forward. Take the hand as wide as you need to. You can go down to your elbow if necessary. Externally rotate, hinge, land soft. If you want to progress, go for it. These guys, I would keep the hands on the ground. Probably not necessary to go without the hands yet. Adduct, hinge, flip, soft landing. Tension, guys. Use your arms. Last one. Leaning back is kind of an acceptable compensation, but it is a compensation. As upright as you can be. Third and final rep will stay there. All right, guys. So kick those out of the way. 3 reps attempting to get into figure 4, and then we'll stay there. So turn yourself back. If you need to regress, as much weight out on your hands. Again, you can go elbows. Trying to abduct, it's okay if you have to scrape the heel. Pull under, pull through. Come back, lift off. Heel stays tight to butt. Hover that floor, active IR as long as you can. Tough. Guys, really quick, just watch this for me. I have an issue with right hip IR. This hip's limited. My knee wants to help. I have an issue disassociating knee from hip. And a lot of you were talking about that. So when I pull back, my foot starts trying to turn out. And I don't know if you can tell, but that's me attempting to externally rotate. So my brain is trying to do this instead of internally rotate my hip. My hip doesn't have enough. It starts recruiting my knee. My knee bugs when I'm in this position. Maybe that's why. My hip's limited. My knee's learning to help. As we train, we have to make sure the knee can be in the position. Okay. Last one, staying in figure 4, lift off. End up in figure 4. We're going to come into butterfly for our breathing. Find your butterfly position, guys. Strap onto those ankles, no thumbs. Use those elbows to wedge yourself into a stretch. You can peel yourself forward if it's very easy for you to be here. Find a little stretch for the adductors. If you can easily get your knees to the ground, guys, shift your weight over one side and just press one thigh down. You can go from here. Okay, either way, find a stretch. We get 4 4x8 count breaths, and then 4 each expansive and expulsive to finish. Big soft inhale, big soft exhale times 4. Remember, guys, your focus of these diaphragmatic breaths is meditating on the rib cage movement. As you breathe in, your rib cage should expand like a balloon into your upper back, like you're blowing yourself up and wide. Feel the breath into the upper back. As you breathe out, the rib cage should pull down towards the waistband, and you should notice the hips will sink a little. Moving to our expansive breaths. Big breath in, get tall, soft breath out. Last 4 breaths, guys, expulsive. Soft breath in, long, hard breath out. So these 4 guys get deep into the stretch. Guys, we're all done. Getting about halfway into the membership now. As you can see, things starting to get tough. A lot of challenges there at the end. As we get towards week 5 and 6, most of class is going to look like these last 10 minutes. Okay? Got me some feedback. What's up, guys? Much air with the tip air track that far. You watch the tennis ball done as far as this right shoulder. So here, guys, it's a little conceptual, but remember the ball is going to draw a circle on my thigh. We start protracting, reaching the shoulder forward. Tennis ball is straight forward slightly. Now I want you to depress the scapula, squeeze down towards your hip, retract the scapula, and pinch back. elevate the scapula and pull up. So it's forward, down, back, and up. Small circles if you watch the tennis ball, guys. It's gonna be 4 reps in each direction. Maintain good tension through your hips here. Teach yourself to disassociate the scapula gliding on that thoracic cage from any other movement. Really common is the spine wanting to change positions. So really emphasize core engagement and staying tall through your chest. We got our 4, let's reverse. Protract, elevate, retract, and depress. Very small movement, guys. Doesn't need to be that far. But teach yourself to have control of your scapula in this position. Got 2 more reps. Gentle protract, elevate, retract, depress. Last time coming up. For me, I get a lot of lat engagement here. I find it's a nice one. So we finish through forward direction. Grab one of your yoga blocks, guys. I just want you to stiff arm it down to help yourself get up a little taller. So use that tension posted at the elbow, active with both hips squeezing in the floor. We're gonna get 3 shoulder curves. Flex the shoulder overhead, max it out, internally rotate, turn the armpit and the tennis ball. Continue turning, guys. IR happens throughout the whole motion. Spin knuckles forward. Keep turning, keep turning, keep turning. As we finish, we're trying to turn the tennis ball out, the bicep in. Prevent that shoulder hiking forward. Keep that scap. Extend back. Tension through your hips through that hand, guys. Externally rotated reach. Squeeze up towards the ear, flipping thumb back. So I've mentioned this before, guys, but as we progress our Kinstretch practice, upper limb curls start being done in more challenging lower body-based positions, okay? Doing our upper limb warm-up here in 90-90 makes it a little bit tougher and it gets our hips some time under tension such that they've already gotten some work in just from the warm-up. Finishing through 3 reps. Flex. Max it out, internally rotate. Let's freeze there, guys. Fight to get closer to the ear, then keep rotating. As we advance, start to challenge your individual weak points. For many of us, it's getting that true rotation to initiate the rest of the motion, okay? So, got our right scap, our right shoulder. Let's get a bear sit transfer to the other side. So go ahead, just flip that yoga block and ball.
And then, hey, if you're still here, always comment and let me know what types of videos you want to see. Foundational functional training, adapted fitness, adapted training, advanced training, any type of sports skill development. So I'm always open to learning and teaching. So let me know what y'all want to see. Thanks a lot.